When I look at Monday Night Raw, I look at it as a show that on a week-in, week-out basis should be accomplishing or trying to accomplish two things. A, be an entertaining show for that particular week, and B, maybe just as importantly, if not more importantly, getting you excited, getting you pumped up for the next pay-per-view. A lot of times with WWE, we get neither. Sometimes we get one or the other. And sometimes you get those occasions where WWE does a very good job, and to give us both a very entertaining show that also gets us incredibly pumped up for the upcoming pay-per-view. And that's what Raw was for me this week, a show with a lot of entertaining components and a lot of entertaining components that tied into the upcoming pay-per-view Maddox Slam. You look even at the opening of the show. Man, is this Mankind trying to be the corporate champion? No, not necessarily. But Daniel Bryan getting this corporate makeover, this was pretty good, and having all of the attention and the culmination of this segment really being Vince trying to get him to shave that bird's nest of a beard and really trying to get him to be Vince's type of champion. And there were some shoot elements to this too, of Daniel Bryan not being the type of guy that fits Vince's image, not being the type of guy usually that Vince McMahon would want in that spot. The Daniel Bryan character right now has a lot of momentum, and he is a far different performer than he was, let's say, 2.5 years ago. He really is. There has been a tremendous amount of growth. Now you're going from a guy that 1.5 years, 2 years ago was thrust into a main event spot that he...
Well, hello, ladies. Yes, I'm not going to fuck with you too much. All Smokey know is the timing is right, the situation is right. Daniel Bryan is over like $1 million. We want something different. We want something new. You can make him the Mankind of this generation, motherfucker. Daniel Bryan, corporate makeover, no corporate makeover, don't matter. Bottom line is, he better be winning that fucking SummerSlam over John Cena, motherfucker. You damn right.
We got RVD versus ADR. 3 initials versus 3 initials, which on the surface would usually mean I might fall at risk of taking a nap during this match. And almost did. I just thought it was very squirrely, the fact that Ricardo, they made a deal about him coming back just to have ADR kick the ever-loving shit out of him. Where is this going to go? I don't know. Did they bring Ricardo back on TV just to now really punish him and yank him right back off of TV? Are they anticipating some storyline coming out of this for the fall? That could be. I'm not going to rush to judgment on this. Although I should have known, if RVD did the job for ADR before, you had to know somebody like ADR, or RVD, excuse me. You had to know somebody like him. He was going to get his win back. You knew it was coming. There were many reasons, in my opinion, why the Hogan era and the Attitude era were both incredibly successful and great entertaining eras for the WWF/WWE. One common link, and there's several of them, it's not just the people at the top, is one common link that both eras really had that today's business, and in particular today's WWE, sorely lacks. And that is compelling mid-card feuds that sometimes were about just simple things, sometimes they were over something, sometimes they were just because. But sometimes when you go back and look at the Hogan era, and you look at the Attitude era, you would have these great storylines, these great feuds in the mid-card that made everybody matter. So maybe the main event match you didn't really care that much about. But maybe this match here or this match here on the card, you really gave a shit about. That was something that they were really good about in the Attitude era, really good about in the Hogan era, was making everybody matter and give everybody a reason, a purpose, some sense of having consequence for being on the show. And you give us something like this feud with Cody Rhodes and Damien Sandow. This type of mid-card feud, former best friends, they split off. Now you're not just giving us a match, and that's it. You're giving us promo segments. You're giving us Cody Rhodes throwing the Money in the Bank briefcase into the Gulf of Mexico. You're giving us these type of things that give us these really great mid-card feuds that we see far too few of in today's WWE. Yes, I'm sure this feud for a lot of you is like an IWC wet dream. Cody Rhodes, Damien Sandow, Maddox Slam. Well, you know what? It should be, because this is awesome. This is one of the things that has me the most excited about Maddox Slam right here. And it's a mid-card feud. And it may or may not even be over the Money in the Bank briefcase. but it has reason, it has purpose, there's consequence here. And it makes sense, it tells a good story, and you've got two compelling characters, one undergoing a babyface change, the other one being an established heel. I love it. We need more of this in the WWE, not less, that's for damn sure.
Of course Ryback gonna run scared for Mark motherfucking Henry. He didn't forget WrestleMania. He didn't forget that ass whooping. He didn't forget about that World's Strongest Slam. Yeah, that World's Strongest Slam being Mark Henry falling on your fucking back. Yeah, Ryback got punked out this week like a Kentucky Fried Cracker bitch, motherfucker. Yeah, that's right, run your ass off. Man, all I know is I'm hearing all this talk, and I'm gonna keep looking away because I'm kind of pissed off about this shit. Talking about, yeah, that Humpty Dumpty Big Show been working out. It's gonna be him and Mark Henry versus The Shield at Matic Slam. Let me ask you a question. What make you think Mark Henry need a fucking tag team partner? What make you think Mark Henry need any help to beat The Shield? He beat those motherfuckers 1-on-3. Yeah, I'm gonna lick myself because I'm excited, but I'm really excited about this. If anybody wanna see a tag team partner for Mark motherfucking Henry, who you gonna want to put with him? A motherfucking Big Show? Or how about this? Oh, I don't know. How about motherfucking Smokey? Cause that's what we do. We dominate. Greatest tag team champions of all time, motherfucker. Team Cheeseburger. You damn right.
Follow the buzzards. Follow the buzzards. And, you know, they've had Bray Wyatt saying this for a few weeks now, and I guess things have been pointing to him facing off with Kane at SummerSlam. It seemed like it was an inevitability, but I was wondering how it was going to be done, how they were really going to set this up, and whether or not it was really going to care that much. Because what I don't want to see happen with the Wyatt family is what I think is starting to happen with The Shield. They brought in this group, they had a good idea, they had a good concept, but they didn't have anything planned out, mapped out for 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 24 months down the road with those guys. And you can clearly see that with the way The Shield is being booked today. They had no long-term plan. They had no long-term vision. So it's 3 guys with a good concept that are doing absolutely nothing. It's just spinning the wheels, and they're just, you know, right here. They're not moving up. You know, they're not growing as characters. They're kind of wilting a little bit. I don't want to see that happen with the Wyatt family. All I'll say is this, is if this is true, and we're going to get Kane versus Bray Wyatt at Matic Slam in an Inferno match, fucking sign me up for that shit. Outstanding. This is perfect. You got Kane in a signature match of his versus Bray Wyatt, a guy who should live for this, who should be fiending for this, should almost want to intentionally set himself on damn fire. Outstanding stuff. Another mid-card feud that I give a shit about. 2 reasons with this and Damien Sandow versus Cody Rhodes, 2 major reasons that I am now even more pumped up for Matic Slam than I was a couple of weeks ago, let's say. Much more pumped up for it. Dearest, oh dearest WWE, reportedly you are looking, desperately seeking a black babyface to become a big star, to become your black equivalent of Rey Mysterio, if you will. Kofi Kingston is back. Hooray for Kofi! Not to mention the other guys like the Titus O'Neils and the Biggie Langstons. All of these guys that you could very well make big-time babyface stars out of. But let's look at Kofi Kingston. He's a high flyer. Kids really like him. There's a lot there. Now imagine if you actually gave him some storylines to work in. You gave some additional depth to his character. You allowed him to shine. You did something other than just having him work random matches week in and week out. You gave him signature victories at Big 4 pay-per-views. Imagine what type of star you could make a guy like Kofi Kingston. You have a chance, WWE. You have a chance. Do it right this time. And don't have him work against Randy Orton. Otherwise, that would be stupid, stupid, stupid. I think one thing I'm just going to have to deal with and cope with and get used to is that as long as that Total Divas show is on E, I'm going to have to see the fucking Bellas plugging that dumb crap every single week. I'm just going to have to deal with it. This would be if the other guys were around, I could just pawn this off on them and say, can he? But I can't do that, unfortunately. So I'm just going to have to learn to deal with it and cope with it, and most weeks probably not talk about it. Have I seen Total Divas? No. Do I intend to? No. Why? Because I don't give a fuck. That's why. Total Divas is getting more women featured on TV, which is a good thing for WWE, whether they necessarily realize it or not. This whole thing with Layla all of a sudden last week turning on Caitlyn, it kind of came the fuck out of nowhere. They didn't really set that up. It's just, oh, all of a sudden now Layla wants to be AJ's friend. What? Yeah, you know what? I can't even really go into depth about it. It's just kind of weird and kind of dumb, and you know, that's the thing. Yeah, they're featuring the women more, which is a good thing, but I don't like necessarily how they're featuring them. Even like the Biggie Langston Dolph Ziggler shit. Now here comes Caitlyn, and it's like now they're taking attention away from somebody like Dolph Ziggler again by focusing it on women. Dolph Ziggler's character, the last thing he ever needs to be around ever again is a fucking woman. Because every time they stick him with a woman, all it does is takes spotlight and attention away from him. Just like it did, yet again, on this week's Raw. You really have two feuds kind of going on with CM Punk right now. You have the feud with Brock Lesnar, and even more importantly for the CM Punk character, you have the feud with Paul Heyman. Now, Curtis Axel kind of gets grouped in there as a result, but he's kind of more of a facilitator, a placeholder, a plot device, you know, until you get to Brock versus Punk at SummerSlam. You know, he kind of bridges the gap also between Heyman and Punk. So yeah, you could sit there and say, I don't really like how the IC champ is being featured, but he's in a big spot. He might not be the focus, but he's still in a big spot. And I really like Curtis Axel's entrance. I really do. It's one of the better ones in today's WWE, not in the measure of something, let's say, like the Wyatt family. I really like the production of it. Anyways, enough about his damn entrance. This whole segment here, I thought was very, very well done. You know, this is, again, got me really excited about Punk versus Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, which was something that I really wasn't very excited for before this week's Raw. You know, not only their full-blooded fisticuffs, but the backstage stuff. Of all people, Brock Lesnar saying, Paul, now's your time to say something stupid. Brock Lesnar's going to call out somebody else about saying something stupid on the mic. Imagine that, huh? Well, apparently we're going to get CM Punk versus Paul Heyman in a fight next week. It's going to be dangerously good. Like even Paul Lee dangerously good. Those are bad pun, yes. My thoughts on the six-man main event tag were this. The Shield. They're just there at this point. They really don't serve a ton of purpose. I'm sorry. You know, shame on the WWE for kind of dropping the ball on these guys a little bit. Yeah, we're starting to make big stars out of them, and now they're starting to kind of just levitate around middle of the road, and that's not good. They've become very stagnant and the slightest bit dull, if I dare say so myself. You know, the whole match, it didn't last very long. You know, then it just descended into all types of Crash TV type of chaos. Let's cut through the bullshit. The Shield, it was very strange here how the Shield was attacking, then they backed off, and then they were attacking. It was kind of odd. Why they would interfere with Orton's attempt to try and cash in the Money in the Bank, why would they care one fucking way or another? Oh, now they're about injustice again, whatever the case might be. But, let's cut through all the bullshit, let's cut through all the foreplay. You know, this doesn't matter to Daniel Bryan, because Daniel Bryan's going to win. That's Maddox Slam. We know what's going to happen. He's going to be victorious. He's going to make John Cena tap out, isn't he, folks? No, probably if he won, he'd get some interference because God would just have to triumphantly save the day. That's probably what would happen. God would have to save the day, and Daniel Bryan wins via cheap roll-up. But this is all foreplay to get to what really matters the most. The thing that you are looking forward to the most. The moment that Randall Keith Orton cashes in at Maddox Slam on Daniel Bryan to become the new WWE champion, to go on to feud with John Cena for the rest of 2012. You know you want to see it. Oh, I know I want to see it. The perfect nightcap to a great Raw this week. An Orton heel turn, setting up his future WWE Championship reign and feud against John Felix Anthony Cena. Outstanding shit. I can't wait for Maddox Slam in 2 weeks, damn it.